So good morning students. So today we are going to study module number 5 and lecture number 36 and 37. So basically in this lecture we are going to study system, service and social services. So in the previous classes we have studied all these dimensions. So from starting we studied dimension of education, dimension of health, then dimension of justice, then dimension of production service, dimension of exchange distribution, right utilization and preservation. So all these dimensions we have studied till now and we have noticed that this dimension of education is very important because all these dimensions are interconnected, and this dimension of education plays a very important role in this interconnectedness of all these dimensions. So today we are going to study this system service. So today we are going to study this last dimension of human order, that is system service. So if you see this service, we will discuss 4 levels of service. Service with relationship in the family, service in relation to production, service in relation to society, and service in relation to participation in the system. So all these 4 services we are going to discuss in this lecture. So we have already looked into service with relationship when we studied relationship during this lecture 3 and 5, and then we studied service in relation to production that we covered in lecture 27 to 29. But that time we covered these lectures from different perspective. Now we will have a brief discussion on these two, keeping this service in the mind. So if we see service with relationship in the family, so there are many activities, many services which we do in our family without any expectation. So like cooking food, serving water to our elders, to youngers, all these kind of activities we do in our family without any expectation. And what we get satisfaction as an achievement. So if you notice in your family, many activities you are performing with the feeling of service. So for example, there are elder ones in your home. So you do service for them with the feeling of relationship, with the feeling of trust, with the feeling of gratitude, with the feeling of excellence. So you do all these things without any expectation. So like giving water to them is a service, and when you perform this service you get satisfaction at the level of self. So this is the achievement of service. So if you see all these things in the house, then it is not due to the expectation of return. So for example, a mother help her child to grow up, and during this process many activities is performed by the mother. She cooks food, she help the child to understand the things, and all these activities are done with this service, keeping service at the center. If it starts keeping expectation in or keeping return in something, then there will be a rift in the family. Then there will be a contradiction in the family. So in many families the quarrel starts due to this reason, because we do things with the expectation, not with the feeling of service. So whenever we perform these activities with the feeling of service, then there will be harmony in the family. So along with these feelings, physical facility is also required, and in fact there are 3 cases where only feelings won't do work, physical facility is also required. So for example, when the child is young. So along with feelings, physical facility is also required to help the child. So for example, food is required, clothes are required, many physical things are required to help that child growing up. Similarly, when the parents have become old, so along with these feelings, physical facility is also required for them. And when any member has fallen ill, so along with these feelings, feeling of service, physical facility is also required. So physical facility and feelings both are required. So physical facility are also important in the context of taking care of each other in family. So there are many other problems other than physical facilities where mental support is needed. So there are some situations at our home when physical facility is required primarily along with the feelings. There are some situations when mental support is required and with very less physical facility. So for example, if our child is in trouble, he is feeling pressure, he is not comfortable within himself, then physical facility will not help him because it is a state of mind. So it can be resolved, these contradictions can be resolved with the help of this mental support, with the help of these feelings. So we perform these services, sometimes keeping physical facility at the priority, sometimes keeping feelings at the priority, but both are required. So this service, when we perform these activities, when we perform with the feeling of service, then there is a harmony in relationship. So as I discussed you, there are many events, many activities that we do, and in fact these all are not at all production. No production is taking place while performing these activities, serving food, serving water. No production is happening in this activity, but we do these activities with service, with the feeling of service, because we get satisfaction in the return. So it is not like a hotel industry, it is not a service like a hotel industry, where if we stay in a hotel and get services, we give something in return while living. In family, it doesn't happen like this. So service provided in the family is under the law of natural acceptance. So in family, we feel related to each other. That's why this service, this flow of feelings happen naturally, because this is our natural acceptance. So whenever I feel related with my mother, I feel related with my child, then serving food, giving water, helping them physical facility wise and feeling wise becomes natural for us. It means when we do these activities with service, feeling of service, it is natural for us because it is our natural acceptance. So some underlying principles are working which are motivating us naturally to do these activities. And when we do these activities keeping natural acceptance at the center, then we get satisfaction in the self, at the level of self. But in hotel industries, people use this word service, but actually this is not service, because there is a give and take methodology. That's why when we are talking about this service with relationship in the family, it means we are keeping service at the center, we are keeping relationship at the center. Then another place when we expect something in return is identified as a production service. So many things we produced, and we can do this as a service also. And another thing like repair and maintenance, it will come in the exchange category. So if we see this production category, so we can do this production with the feeling of relationship, with the mindset of relationship. So when we do this production with the mindset of relationship, again we get mental satisfaction and happiness. And second one, it means exchange. We can do this with the mindsets of exchange in terms of currency. Generally it is happening. Exchange is happening with this currency. Today currency is popular. Currency is a medium through which exchanges are happened. The rest of the service can seen at two levels: service in relation to society and service in relation to participation in the society. So if we talk about this participation in the society, so this is what we are doing from the place of this system. It means if we look at the people participating in the system, that is also a category of service. So as long as we keep adding our MLA, MPs, DM, etc., all these category can be put at this service level, because these people are basically provide services to the society. So until the last grade, whosoever exists in this system, basically we may place them in the category of this category of service. So all these people can help us if they work with the feeling of this service. So basically all these people are serving the society. Then people who are in any kind of service are not doing production directly. So there are many kind of work where people are giving services like maintenance, etc. They are not involving in production process directly. So this is again a question: how many people engaging in service will work to fulfill their daily needs is a matter. So because these kind of people are not involved in any production process, so how they will fulfill their needs, this is a matter of questions. So there are three possible solutions. There are three possible solutions through which these peoples can be helped. Number one, either the rest of family accepts their responsibility. So if a person from our home is devoted to perform these services for the society, so one possibility is rest of family member accepts that responsibility and help that person to fulfill his or her need. Second is the society accepts that responsibility under social responsibility. So society should take care of that person because that person is trying to fulfill the needs of other with service. The third could be the societal system should provide some salary, some monetary benefits to those persons who have devoted themselves towards this service of society. So with these three solutions, those kind of people can be helped, and with this kind of help they will be able to fulfill their needs. So we have now talked about 8 dimensions of the human system, but when we are talking about the system services, there are also some issues. So we need people to run these dimensions smoothly, all those dimensions which we have studied. To fulfill all those requirements, competent people are required. A people who have competence to recognize relationships with others, then only they can work with the feeling of service. A competent people who have enough competent to produce something, who have enough competent to ensure justice with other people in the society. So these kind of people are required in the society for this smooth running of all the dimensions. So we would need some guidelines to decision regarding above mentioned things. If we look at the formal system today, we will have to work out what is going on to be genuine placement of administrative jobs. So these are some issues which we have to handle. So what will be the placement of public representatives? What is going to with genuine placement of NGO, trust, etc. if people are working with the feeling of service. So there are three types of services at the level of society and system that you can see easily. For example, we have structures like langar, where anybody and everybody is provided food. So this is the system which is established in our society. So this system is basically run with the feeling of service. So this system provides opportunity to feed people who are not able to produce food for themselves. So this is kind of system with the feeling of service. So it is a service which is purely on the initiative of the people. It is fully managed by the common people. And the formal administration has no significant role to play. So these kind of systems can be evolved in the society so that needy people can fulfill their needs. So basically this kind of system is required in the present society, because there will be many people who would not be able to fulfill their needs, and this kind of systems supports them to fulfill their needs. So trust and NGOs which are serving certain specific purpose are run by the society. So they are informal in the sense that it is generally on the initiative of the people, and formal, not the formal system of governance. So these kind of organizations are also running in the society to help the people. Then we have administration, which is the formal part of the system of governance. This is what is known as government. So these people also have responsibility to fulfill or smooth running of the different dimensions of the system. So all these three types of services have very valuable role to play. Only the main issue is that we must realize the importance of the service at the level of society and system and put in efforts for these as much as we can. So role of education is very important to prepare this kind of system, and definitely the role of teacher becomes very important to make people aware about this service, to make people aware or enough competent to run this kind of system. So role of teacher is to motivate the students to participate in the services at the level of society, at the level of system. So our education system and our teachers should give importance to these kind of activities in the society, and they should motivate their students. They should prepare their students with the competence so that they may create such kind of systems to run the whole system smoothly. So they must inspire and help the students to develop the necessary mindset and practice of service. So once our education system and teachers are able to prepare such kind of citizens, such kind of students with the mindset of this kind of services in the society, then there will be a provision to live a fulfilling life that we visualize in the first lecture. So one important role of education is to help a student progress in the right direction, step by step. This progress has to be ensured at the level of understanding, mindset, and competence to bring it in practices. So one of the responsibility of this system is to ensure the smooth running of the things, despite people have different types of mentality. So this is one responsibility of the system. So there is no important role of punishment in the context of education and the teacher. So all this education system can help develop this kind of social structure where people are ready to serve other and people are enough competent to run all these dimensions, all those 8 dimensions which we studied during this course. That's why this role of education is very important. So it is important, as I discussed, mindset and competence, developing these mindset and competence for participation in the system. At least we must be able to ensure this participation at the level of family, because family is the smallest unit of human system. So we can prepare such kind of family, we can develop mindset in our students so that they may develop their family and be ready to serve the society. So this is a small exercise that we can do simple. It will be useful to make a detailed study of existing traditions of social service at present time. So we can make a list of all the social services which are running in the present time, and we can study all those social services. It will be helpful in understanding services better and in taking inspiration from these traditions. So for example, langar system from Punjab, collective process of constructing house, doing cultivation, cleaning ponds, etc. Pyahu system is very popular in especially India. So all these things you can study and learn from those traditional case studies. So as a sum up, formal and informal structures are required to ensure harmony in the society. Traditional structures like langar system, workforce society are required to ensure a harmonious society, and we can study all those type of things which was run in earlier traditions that actually help the society to run smoothly. So thank you very much, students. I hope you have understood this lecture. Thank you very much. Have a nice day.